Wow.
All right. Before we get started, I know that there is too much going on out in the world, and we want to acknowledge that. But this is our happy place, our purple palace. Prince is what makes all of us happy. So that's why we're here. And I'm a little late because I'm extremely excited because we have the one and only, there will never be another, Michael Dean with us this morning. Yes.
What's up, family? We back.
We back.
The contract went through with the papers. The money got deposited. And I'm just joking.
I wish, Mike Dean. I wish.
I
wish we had those problems.
My pop used to always say, son, whenever they say it ain't about the money, it's always about the money.
But in this case, it's all about the love. So, what's up?
Yes. So I'm so excited. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing, like playing music and stuff. So I am just like over the moon that Michael Dean is with us. And we got Portia in the house. We got LTK. Go ahead.
And technically, was it last week or week before last, he was with us in the background, in the shadows.
That's right.
Strange. So that footprint is always here.
Yes.
Hey, probably it got so bad, he was like, hey, you ain't got the device where I can just take over your computer because I
did.
I can't talk to you no more. Just look at he turned into your pants. Just give me the damn thing. Just get it.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Lord.
Yes. We got to give hearts to Michael Dean, especially waking up so early in the morning.
I had to get a couple of weeks of sleep, but then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm ready to get back in the game. Put me in the game, coach.
Yeah, you're always welcome. It's not the same. It's not the same. And we got Chandra. I don't know if I'm so welcome if this is your first time, but thank you.
What's up, son? Hometown. Okay.
Also have another Seattle-lite, Theo, in the chat.
Theo, the one and only.
So Seattle is representing.
I used to always make my Jackson State students from Seattle. I used to make them so mad because they'd be like, "I'm from Seattle, Mr. McKinney." I said, "Only black people from Seattle is Ken Griffey Jr. and Jimi Hendrix." Shut up, sit down, boy.
Hilarious.
They would be so mad.
No, you did not.
Come on, Quincy Jones.
I think I would throw him in every now and then.
Quincy Jones.
All right. So let me see what Rockabosh is talking about. I wish Prince was alive after seeing Hov perform 25th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt. Imagine Prince playing anniversaries around Sign of the Times 1999 and Parade. But do we think he'd do it?
I think at a certain point later he could have. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The one thing I was thinking yesterday, I was like, as much as, I was like, man, I wish Prince was still around because I know he would be doing music. I actually just wish Prince would have been around so that he could see. I was just really curious, like him being able to see where things are moving to, like, somebody that's been older and you can kind of see how the culture and society sort of changes. And just, it would be interesting to see his take 20 years from now. Like he would have been like, wow, this is the outcome of the stuff that we did. It'd have been curious to see how like you said, if he would have been doing sort of tribute things, just because he understands now, like, yo, this stuff actually means a lot to the world. Yeah, I should go out here and do Purple Rain again. You know what I mean? So that's what I always wished. If I would have seen what Prince would have just made of things, whether or not he did music is another thing. But anyway.
Yeah, for sure. So go ahead. I just want to make sure that we recognize that Andre Staley was first in the chat. Detroit in the house.
What up, Andre?
Go ahead, C-Lee.
Hey.
It's funny because I've been thinking about this lately, and like I said, I don't really want to be Debbie Downer, but one of the things that I think about a lot is we never saw Prince not be Prince.
Yeah.
Right.
And as somebody, I know this relates in music, but also Prof. Duff, for somebody like me who's also a big sports fan,
Mm.
When you see your sports hero not be himself anymore, like there's a thing about Willie Mays, who may have been like the greatest outfielder of all time, and then his last year, he out in the outfield bumming around like an old dude, you know.
Mm.
And I've had, I'm not gonna call the act's name, I'll just say it was a top tier funk act that we all know. And I went to go see them live, and they was opening for the Time.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, the Time is still killing it, right? The Time is killing it. But when that group came out there, when their lead singer came out there, all I could hear was a theme song from Sanford and Son. That's all I could hear.
Oh.
How bad homeboy look. And I started feeling guilty, like, am I the reason he out here still touring? Cause
Wow.
so I know this, but I always, that's my comfort is Prince never, his voice never failed him.
Mm.
His musicianship never failed him. His show, like we never saw Prince. Now, and again, maybe I'm being selfish, and maybe like what Brother Dean was saying, maybe if he was still here, and maybe even into the 60s and 70s, I would appreciate that version of Prince as well. But I do take solace in the fact that the dude we saw in For You was a dude we saw the last time we saw him still doing it. So that for me is, I get to still have that image in my mind. I don't know if that means anything, but I just think about that. That's it. I'll shut up.
Well, I did see James Brown on TV performing live the Christmas before he passed.
Yeah.
And he was still incredible.
Yeah. Now you're right. You're right. Yeah. James was still bringing it.
I think Prince, I mean, even just Prince doing the piano on a microphone is, to me, like, you know, it's the next level of him. Maybe it is, he's toning it down because maybe physically he's not, you know, not gonna be jumping off the speakers, but it's still gonna give you the same deep musicality, the same rawness, but it's just in a different way, which may be a challenge to him to, like, no, can I just sit down here and entertain a stadium at the piano? That's not easy to do at all. So the fact that he can do that, I just think he might have been pushed to do even more challenge. Maybe he would have did just a straight guitar sitting in this, you know, the image of Prince in the middle of a arena with an acoustic. That would have been crazy. You know, that was the whole show, you know? So, I mean, who knows what we could have gotten, but it just would have been interesting to see the older Prince and, like, okay, I'm gonna be creative in this way, you know? And we can kind of see he was getting into a storytelling bag. So I was like, you don't know what he could have really gotten into going into. It would have been interesting.
And that's a good point, right? The fact that he was really up there telling stories. We never got that from Prince. And that's why I hope that at least that first one from Paisley Park, those first two shows from Paisley Park, we get those in pristine and the video. Because I do want to see him doing that. Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Anna B. Thank you very much.
I'm kind of clean.
I'm channeling the Gold Experience and the Hit and Run Yellow Suit. I'm trying to do both at the same time.
Man, them collars look like they razor blade sharp. Like, I'm like, okay, sure. Wait, was I here pressing? He was on he had the do-rag probably like Morris iron.
Michael, you weren't here last week when when C. Lee had on all white with the suspenders. What?
Oh, and the white tie.
And the white tie. Oh,
I don't know why I think of Lionel Richie with suspenders, but I suppose Prince did have them. He was in here all night long. Dancing on the ceiling last week, huh? See, okay.
Oh my God. All right, so speaking of Lionel Richie, JD is saying seeing Lionel needing to rest and ultimately cancel a few shows was sad.
Oh man.
But that's kind of what you have to do when you at that age, unless you have a certain stamina. Yes.
Everywhere we meet. Man, outrageous. Okay, I'm off. Let me get off.
So Celie Blay Brown wants to know, is that your Versace or Benucci?
Hilarious.
That's just my goal. I just went with my goal.
You want the go.
Just not my blue.
Frame and go.
There you go. I went with this go. Just not the blue.
Tell him it's platinum.
There you go. You understand.
All right. So Raylan, thank you so much for letting us all know that today is Jill Jones's birthday. So happy birthday to Jill Jones. Thank you so much, Raylan, for always keeping us up to
Hey.
date with everything that's going on.
Hey, y'all know I'm not on social media. I got a friend that I hip a lot of Prince people, so she follows Prince people, so she follows Jill, and she'll email me from time to time and say, "Hey man, tell Jill we don't need another cat video. Tell her we good on this. We good on the cat videos."
Oh my God. All right. And let's see. Theo saying Versace got it on the gold mesh. Okay.
There you go. That's the line. Yeah, that's the line.
Fashion. I am a huge fan of Project Runway, and they have just begun their 22nd season of Project Runway, which is absolutely insane. And Tyra Banks is finally like a judge, which is interesting.
Okay. What was the one where they had the bands playing with the models walking down?
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think it was an MTV thing. And what's my girl Vanessa Webb?
Oh yes.
She did it once, and that's when like you shouldn't stereotype people, but I can't remember what band was playing. When she came out and got the bop, and I was like, oh, okay, she from the hood for real. Okay, she, look at all that European dusting, whatever that groove was. I was like, okay, I see you running away. I see you. So see, I got to look at it. Everybody in the chat, remember they had bands playing and they had models walking out the live bands. If y'all remember that.
America's Best Groupie. That's right, pay-per-view.
All right. Okay. So let's get this housekeeping done so we can get into what did Prince do this week for week 28 of 1986. This is a very slow read of Duane Tudahl's Prince Studio Sessions book series. Is Kim not in the chat? Because we are just like carrying on and having a good time without a timekeeper.
Yeah, I didn't feel that. I didn't see the belt come across the screen. So I guess
so we can do whatever we want. All right.
Kim is our Joseph.
There you go.
Kim is our Joseph.
You gonna get it? Don't get it, me.
You can't beat him. Okay, we're going week to week. That means Sunday to Saturday of 1986. No, Theo, please don't.
Theo said, "I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Give me the whip. Give me the whip."
Yes. Oh, and I have to, and I didn't say hello to everybody in the chat, but I did put up all of your greetings. So thank you so much. But I'm so excited that Michael Dean is here. And I think Michael brought out Tanja.
There we go.
All through the night.
All through the night.
What's up, Tanja?
Yes.
I see Kim. Kim is here.
When Brother Dean popped on the screen, everybody turned to Miss Sophia from Purple Rain. Michael Dean is home. Oh yeah, Michael Dean is home. We all turned into Sophia.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So let's get through this housekeeping with the quickness. And we're going Sunday to Saturday. And this is the schedule for the week 28. And if for those of you who want to get your books turned to the right page right now, we're going to Sunday, July 6th of 1986. Sunday, July 6th of 1986. And you do not need the paperback version, but this is what we got. If you have it, you got the circle. If you're like Michael Dean, you have the Old Testament and
the brick.
That is, if you can. Make a dance.
A little read and dance.
Read and dance. I love that. If you can't read and dance. All right. But the paperback has the most up-to-date information. This is really important. If you don't mind hitting the like button since you're already here, it will help me with the algorithms and Michael Dean. But I don't do well on algorithms. So if you could just hit that like button.
Hit the like button, and there's a new one on there, the hype button.
Oh, the hype button. I don't even know.
That's the one that's really pushing. I think it's in the chat thing. If you're on your phone, slide over, you see it says a hype button. Hit that. I think you only can do like one a day or something, but give it to us. How about that?
That would be amazing. All right. Thank you so much for schooling us. And let's see. Theo still has
time for some schooling and ruling. Okay.
Yes. These social media streets be tough out here. Okay. So
it's hard out here on the social media street. All right.
I wonder how many
Cheese
people. I ain't gonna say that. I'm just gonna see how many people got there.
right?
I know from them, yeah.
Well, why you say it like that? Why do you know she got?
It's so southern.
Yep.
That movie was so southern. Like every southern person saw that movie.
And you know what? And my mama, I'm not my mama, Lord. My wife is still mad at that accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's still mad. So we don't talk, we don't teach it. And I tell her, I say, oh, we don't go listen to Randy Moss. If you don't believe people from the South talk like that,
Come on, man.
go see that. See, you know how I said, go listen to Randy Moss. So that's it. All right.
Oh my God.
Everybody got to have a dream. All right.
Oh, okay. I forgot to check that. Yeah, I'm really bad with checking anything, Kim. So I will check the WDPTW email at some point. And so for those of you who want to come on, particularly if you want to talk about attending the Hit and Run tour, if you did that, and we do have someone who is going to join us. I'm not naming them, but you know that person, but I wanted to be a surprise because I think
coming on today.
No, it's in August on the date that they actually attended. So I am super excited to have that conversation with that person because I didn't get to go to the Hit and Run tour because I didn't know it was hitting and running. So
you know what? Can I have 30 seconds?
Sure, of course.
Just speaking on that, and we did a live last week, and I said this, but I was wondering, man, did we miss? I think if Prince would have done the Hit and Run tour and the Sign of the Times tour in the States, like going state for state, so people could actually see it and feel the vibe, and because all they, you've got to remember, all we just knew the Purple Rain. That was the last one we saw, around the country, and really, how it seeped through the culture. So them to be able to see this version of Prince when he came back, well, it would have been like, there would have been no question. I don't even think we would have gotten the Black Album because there would have been no question, would have been no conversation of, is he still black enough, or is the sound, because he would have assaulted the hood with this show. We would have saw that, everything they was doing up there. It was so soulful and funky. I just think that the effects of that tour, we would have saw that in the musicians that came out of that time. So it was really interesting to see how that would have affected the Teddy Rileys and some of these guys who are obviously influenced by Prince, but you can hear the sort of the electro funk influence of Prince, that version, even like Zap and stuff. But it would have been interesting to see what the effect of when that real funky ass musician Prince would have been exposed to the country, and everyone in the word of mouth of that would have been like, yo, Prince and they on some other, like, he's not, it's a different thing. Like, they up there jamming and the horns and whoop. Would have been, I would have been curious to see, particularly like my musician community and like them cats, what that would have done and what music would have sounded like and how that would have affected his career. Because I don't think we would have had a reason to do the Black Album because it would have been solidified. Right. Like, this dude is that dude. So I just wanted to throw that in.
You know what? I agree with you. And technically, we was 4 years without Prince live. Maybe 3.5. So like you say, last time you see Prince live is Purple Rain. The next time he show up is Love Sexy. That's a that's a shock to the system. So no, I'm with you 100% on that. So that's it. I did that you are 100% that, and I'll take just a little different point. Since we know that a lot of the Black Album started as party music, particularly for Sheila's birthday, I would add that we may have gotten it in a different way. Yeah, we know there's another little portion of that we all know, and why he, does the Love Sexy thing and that the other little hidden report. But I think that with it being party music like that, because I still say that had the Black Album and Love Sexy been a double album, hey man. So, but I always, in fact, I have it on my playlist. I have the Black Album and Love Sex as a double album. Like I've never not listened to the Black Album and Love Sexy not together. Ever since that little bootleg cassette I had, when we got that little bootleg cassette, and then the album, then Love Sexy dropped, we all pissed off, we hit black. I've always had them as one thing. And technically, Prince performed them as a double album, right? The first half of the Black Album, the second half was Love Sex. So I'm with you 100% that if he doesn't give us that gap, and like I said, the only thing I'll tweak is I think that we might have gotten the Black Album either as a component to Love Sexy or tweaked in a different way. That's it. I'll shut up.
You know what? I wonder if if the parade hit and run, works, and it's just the atmosphere, is the excitement of it is like, yo, this is that dude. He's back again on some new shit. I wonder if that would have spurred Warner Brothers to say, you know what, Crystal Ball, you got that.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It could have been like, okay, it would have been a whole different thing. Like,
right.
Okay, we would have got that 3-album drop because he done got the streets ready. Boom. All this. And, yeah.
I'm with you.
Oh my goodness. What could have been? However, there is a part of me that I definitely would have wanted him to do a proper parade tour, but we would definitely not have gotten Sign of the Times live if he toured the States. So my old wants Sign of the Times live.
It might have been Crystal Ball live or something. You know what I mean? It would have been something. But who knows? We're just making it.
And I'm selfish, so we'd have had the bootleg of it. Let's move on.
and write in the comments, if Under the Cherry Moon was a big hit, it would have been a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
We'd be in a whole different world.
For sure.
Couldn't you imagine?
Can't even. Yes. All right. So Being Good, Prosperous is saying he did right with his discography by putting out Love Sexy because it's a better album than the Black Album.
Well, look. Now I just want to be clear.
It's a different album.
Yeah. My point wasn't that one was better than the other. My point is that I love them equally. Like I'm sorry. When Cindy C comes on, I mean, good goddamn. Like that's the first thing I said when I was like, people, oh, come on, man.
Nah, man, it's not dated now. No music is dated, man.
Thank you. I can't go with you. Look, and again, what we say, we are a community. So we agree even when we disagree. So look, I'm not gonna tell you what you don't hear. Like I'm not here to tell you what you don't hear. But every time I put on the Black Album, I move. Like my body, my body moves. So all right, there we go.
Kim had enough.
Okay, so I gotta say my piece. So here's the deal. I saw the Love Sexy tour live in real time, 2 nights in Atlanta at the Omni. And I say Love Sexy, but it's really about the Black Album because there was so much Black Album in the Love Sexy tour.
Yep.
Like Pop George.
Yep.
And all of that. And so I hear you, C. Lee, about you really can't play one without playing the other because they're really so intertwined. And I don't know. So like you, Cindy C, super funky califragisexy. I mean, like the whole album is fire. It's really interesting, Being Good, Prosperous, that you say that it sounds dated. Maybe it's because I've played it all my life. Like I've never not played the Black Album, that it has not dated. It sounds just as fresh as, a new loaf of bread every time I hear it, because I don't know. It's just so darn funky. I don't know. I love that album.
I just got one last thing to say.
All right, break it down.
I'm sure you're quite intelligent, a wizard in math and all that shit.
Hilarious.
But I'm tad more interested in flying your kite tonight. Let's move on. Let's move on. I ain't got nothing to say after that.
Yes, Black Sexy.
The lyrics. Yeah, man.
Okay, one last thing. And my wife still walks around whenever my wife still walks around and she'll say the phrase, "Oh, you quiet now." That's all I'm gonna say. If you know, you know.
Yeah, man. Rock hard in a funky place, man. The album is ridiculous.
That's one of her favorite lines.
Yes. I love this comment from Eric. Thank you. The Black Album is so unique. I feel like its weirdness makes it timeless. And I absolutely agree with you on that. And Theo is saying, I enjoy the Black Album, but I enjoy the experience of Love Sexy. More Love Sexy. Theo. Yes. Confetti. Love Sexy is the one. It's okay.
I love.
Yeah.
The Black Album makes Love Sexy even that much more fantastic in context.
Yep.
At some point, hopefully, they will release them together like that and give the story to the people to understand. Like, you've heard of this Black Album thing. Here's why. Here's the reason for this conversation. Here's the work. Now listen to the work of art. How fascinating. He came right back with something else, which is totally opposite to that.
And in fact, the whole tour book, like the whole tour book, the whole Love Sexy tour book is all about the Black Album and how the Black Album leads us into, right? I keep going back and forth. Like, it was right there for that to be a double album release. Like, it was right there. Or if Warner Brothers was really smart, right on the heels of Love Sexy, fuck you, Prince, we gonna release Black Album right after that. Like if Warner Brothers would have been really smart, they'd have dropped that Black Album, and I'd have had to been on Warner Brothers side at that time. Hey, Prince, I understand you're upset, but I'm gonna be bumping the grind. So
yes, I agree. Now
I like what Realign said. The output needed guidance. I would agree with that. Like, I think the stuff that Prince created at times fantastic, but left to a person who has got a million things going on and just jump into the next. It just needs to be somebody that'd be like, yo, how about you stick doing the music? I'll take care of,
there you go.
Curating it a little bit for you, because you have some fantastic stuff here, but you're a genius, man. And you're going 1,000 miles per hour. The audience is still back over here. You're like, let's give them this and then we'll catch up. But they just needed, even if it's somebody at the label, to just be able to say, we're going to put this shit out. Okay.
Right.
But give us a second to put it out. We may be a couple years behind you, but just, we can put this out, but slow down for a second. So anyway.
So I'm curious about your comments about Andre's comment. I'm glad that he kept When Two Are in Love on both LPs.
Oh yeah, that for me, because that was the connector. Again, that's another example that it was right. Sometimes things are right there for us, but we don't see it because we too close to the forest. And that could be anything that we're doing. We all have, and then somebody take somebody else, as Brother Dean said, to come in the room and go, hey, why don't you just put that together? Like sometimes we are too close to the forest. So yeah, I think When Two Are in Love being on both, it's cemented in my mind. These albums are supposed to be together. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that take.
Yeah. You know what would have been dope? Somebody could say, you know what, Prince? Sorry about that.
I thought that was a button.
It was. Yeah, that's what it was. That was that button called race car burning in draws or something, whatever that is.
There you go.
Draws.
Two Are in Love. It would have been interesting. I would have been like, you know what? There's the version that you just did, but do a different version from the point of view, almost like it was be a Camille version, a Black Album version, and then the version that would be on Love Sexy would be from a different point of view. Maybe it was a Two Are in Love in terms of a spiritual one. Maybe the other one is what it is now, just to show the contrast to how you changed or something. But the song is dope either way.
Yeah. I also love this comment from, let's see, from Kim. So Kim is saying C-Lee is ready to give somebody homework to do a documentary / podcast on Black Sexy, basically. Yes.
That'll be a podcast juice. What did Prince do weekly this week? Joint effort coming together. I'm gonna just stand back and watch.
Well, and then I was gonna say, we're gonna recruit Sneak. I'm saying my name.
Sneak. There we go.
This would be perfect for my man right there. Ooh.
Yes, we're just gonna let Nick do it.
There you go. And like I said, we keep making these connections. One of my favorite parts of the Love Sexy show and I always go back and forth, is one,
Demetrius.
Prince, strange relationship on the piano. That's funky shit I've ever heard in my life. It literally is funky shit. But right after that, what does he close the piano set with? The coldest When Two Are in Love breakdown. Yeah. It's like, I'm done. Like, I know more show coming. I really don't. And then he flipped the cane with it to let you know ain't shit else coming. This is me. Look at, he almost like, you know what? Little Richard was right. I'm him and every damn thing else. It's me. Like that whole, you can't escape him. I know it.
That's the piano on the mic era, boy. If he would have toured at that level, I don't think I'd have lived past that. I mean,
Woo. All right. So AJJ is bringing the elephant in the room. Love Sexy. Yeah, sexy. Was good, but that album cover was a turnoff. It's not your opinion, but a lot of folks' opinion.
Look here, AJJ, you should have just done what my cousin did. Because my cousin beat me to the record store. And because I wanted to get it first, he beat me to the record store. But what he did was, when it was behind the counter, he said, hey, hand me that Love Sexy, but put it face down. I don't really want to have to look at it. Put it face down in the bag, right? Yeah. So that's what y'all should. I didn't care. In fact, as a student at Jackson State, I was actually taking an art appreciation class, and the art teacher talked about that photography because she said it almost comes off as a painting. So she talked about how photography took the place of painting, and she used that actual cover to discuss that. So I get for some of the bros, it was a little too, but hey, I am secure in my mains hood. So
I love that.
Being secure in my mains hood didn't bother me. Matter of fact, I wanted to find out if there's some sisters who wanted a boutique, a bed of flowers like that. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. What do you think about Chanel's comment, please, that Prince, the second album, had him naked on a Pegasus? So why are people complaining about Love Sexy?
Cause it was the back cover, and two, it's still kind of, it's still kind of like not blurred, but you know what I mean? It's not vivid like the
trust and believe. If that second album had him naked on the cover,
right? That's what I'm saying. It's on the back.
Yeah,
it's on the back.
I mean, I the Love Sexy cover. I agree with Theo. I think it's brilliant. It's bold. Of course, a black man on the cover naked. That's some wild stuff. But this is Prince at his height. Like super creative, super daring, and I think it works in the context of what he's doing. But I think it's meant to shock people. I mean, that's what he was. He was that dude that would do the craziest stuff. And how crazier can you get? You be naked on the cover, and then again, you see it years later with the ass out jeans. I mean, that was just a part of his stick,
Yeah, it really was. Okay, we're getting the stick.
I just love it.
Yes. Okay, so Celie has already spoken to this, but we didn't do the disclaimer that this is not affiliated with the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson. Prince Legacy, LLC, and Primary Wave equals the estate. Is not affiliated, associated, or connected with the What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. Okay, and we started off the top of the hour with one of my favorite songs off of Times Square, which is only available on, I'm blanking, either the CD or I think it's only available on the CD and not on the LP. It's Overnight Every Night. Really great song. And you can see it's composed by Prince, Eric Leeds, Levi Caesar Jr., and Sheila E. And you got Prince on piano, organ, Levi on bass, Sheila on drums, Alana Bliss on trumpets, and Eric on everything else. And we are episode number 180. Wow. So I'm hoping, Michael, that you will definitely be here for the 200th episode because we're going to get there. We are going to.
I'm going Love Sexy cover for 200.
We're going to get naked. We're going to get naked for the 200 cover, the 200 episode.
Okay. I have the overlays placed just right. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna have our flowers. Okay. So this week 28, there were 5. Count them. So that's. I mean, Kim is right. We need to get to it. There are 5 studio sessions this week. 4 new songs. Let's talk about them. So one of top 10 in my ranking. I don't know if anybody saw Questlove's top 100 for Rolling Stone a couple of weeks ago, but in my rankings, The Question of You is definitely top 10 of all Prince songs of all time. And that is a bold statement, I know, because there's so many incredible Prince songs. But one of the greatest songs that anybody has recorded was recorded on July 6th in 1986, The Question of You on a Sunday. And then, you know what? I forgot. I'm going to put in, Arthur did an amazing presentation about The Question of You. And so if you want to, and it was I want to say it was for Batman. I can't remember, for the Batman Symposium, even though The Question of You isn't on Batman. But I don't know. I feel like it was in person, but I could be wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then Monday, we got a new song called Train. We got another new song called Eggplant. And then so tracking and mixing for those. And then on Tuesday, there were overdubs, horn overdubs, and Mo mixing. And then another song that's really near and dear to me, It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings, which we got on the Sign of Time Super Deluxe, which I'm very excited about. And if you were able to go see, speaking of Questlove, that Symphonic for You, the whole orchestra, they actually played that song, It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings. It was in the track listing, and it was so incredible to hear that live with a full orchestra.
That was all about that.
Yes. Yeah. It was really, really incredible. And then nothing going on Thursday and Friday. That's the other book. And then on Sunday, Saturday, we got Eggplant, vocal overdubs, and then an instrumental version, possible mix for that. And then a possible mix of It Ain't Over, and then sequencing, crossfades, and mix for the Dream Factory album. So that's happened this week, and we're going to start with our reading, and we're going to let's see. Who wants to read about The Question of You?
I'll read it.
All right. Give it Justin. Read it with feeling.
So my shoes won't be on too tight or something?
Yeah. Read it.
Sunday, July 6, 1986, The Question of You, tracking overdubs, Galpin Blvd home studio, Chanhassen, Minnesota, producer Prince, artist Prince, engineer Prince. We open with a quote from Prince. I grew up with Santana and Larry Graham and Fleetwood Mac, all kinds of different things, so that was very cool. And the quote? Yes. Susan Rogers? I'm sorry.
No to Susan Rogers.
So, okay, so where do you want me to go to?
So I took the opportunity. Just skip all the quotes, and just read the main text. So it goes, I remember there was a big story.
Yeah, okay.
I took the opportunity.
Wait a minute. I remember there was a big story not there. Oh, never mind. Go to the next quote. There we go. All right, so Susan Rogers quote here. So I took the opportunity later to ask him about his guitar playing. I'd always been curious about it. He was heavily influenced by Carlos Santana. Rogers continued.
Yes.
Big quote.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and just read that quote.
All right. People sometimes talk about how Prince was influenced by Jimi Hendrix. I don't think he was necessarily influenced by Hendrix's guitar playing as much as he was influenced by his look, his place in the musical firmament. Hendrix was boldly sensual and sexual with his guitar on stage in a way that prior to Hendrix, other guitar players hadn't been. I think that was an obvious influence on his interaction with the guitar on stage. The way Prince postured with the guitar was influenced by Hendrix. I would venture to guess, I think Prince's look and his clothes, certainly around the time of Purple Rain, were influenced by Hendrix. Although stylistically, musically, by Prince's own admission, Carlos Santana was the bigger influence musically on guitar. We have the Prince quote here, quote, if they really listened to my stuff, they'd hear more of Santana influence than Jimi Hendrix. Hendrix played more blues. Santana played prettier, end of quote. And that is true, by the way. Hendrix always called himself a blues player who said that B.B. King was the greatest guitar player he'd ever heard. But I digress. Prince's choice to work on The Question of You during this session makes complete sense. Considering all that was going on around him, it was inevitable that he'd be in a contemplative mood and looking for some quiet time to reflect. And when he did, he focused on his music as if he was alone and anyone in the room would blend into the background. Quote, it's well known by anybody who knows anything about him. He was a man of few words, explained Rogers. Continue quote, my job was to make sure current was flowing in those wires as long as he was making music. That was one of the reasons he wanted a technician working for him, someone who could be in Minneapolis or his home, somebody who could repair something if it broke down at 2 o'clock in the morning, and somebody who had the stamina to stay awake with him all night, end of quote. The track would be a solo session for him, blending layers of guitar and the Oberheim OB8 on top of the real drums. The song contained a breakdown that featured a brief musical callback to Controversy. Status. A 5-minute instrumental of The Question of You was recorded based on his 12 Keys, a song for The Flesh from several months earlier. The Question of You was originally recorded in 1984 as a piano demo. All of those remained unreleased until during his lifetime. The song would eventually be reworked, re-recorded, and released on Prince's 1999 album Graffiti Bridge. And I'll just add that the version that appears on One Night Alone, It Ain't Over, that is like my all-time favorite version of it. And that's what I go to. And it just, you know, that's why after the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing and everybody was losing their mind, I was like, yeah, but we already knew this. Like I wasn't trying to be condescending. I wasn't trying, but I was like, we already knew this. And so that for me is if I have to show some, and I know there's so many we can show people, but if someone says, show me Prince on guitar, I'm gonna go to that It Ain't Over rather than say the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'll shut up.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. I would go, and hopefully it becomes a thing years later. Is his cover of it's from the After Show. What am I thinking here? Just My Imagination.
Oh, just yes.
Yeah, like that would be like I can see that becoming a thing at some. I don't know how that would happen in pop culture, but if the right people hear that and like, yo, you guys were crazy over that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I'm gonna take you to heaven real quick. Like listen to this. Yeah, but you know, the question of you, just a real question of you. I think it's just fascinating if you trace this song, you know, to when it comes out. And I don't know if we'll ever know, but I would be curious what he thought of. He must have obviously thought this song was special or good or something. But it's just interesting to see the life of it throughout the years, and then when we finally get it, and it's still fantastic. I remember when it came out, I would have had no idea it dated back years earlier, but I guess that was one of the reasons why it just stood out to me among the few songs on that album. It just locked me. I was like, oh my God, like what is this? You know, now I understand. This been cooking for a while. Like we've been sitting on this, adding things. So that's my comment.
I just want to say amen to everybody putting in the Electric Man version. You know,
oh yes, that's
when first the Electric Man chant shows up at the Detroit birthday show, but then of course the one we all know and love is the Nude album. And because I'm a blues person, I'm sorry, the Nude tour. Thank you. Because I'm a blues person, I knew the Muddy Waters version, so that inspired me to write a whole poem. And for probably about 3 or 4 years, that was a signature. Like I had to read that poem, Electric. If people came to see me read poetry and I didn't read my Electric Man poem, people would be pissed. But it was basically what Prince did. What Prince did with that Electric Man chant at the end of Question of You, probably other than Forever in My Life, it may be the most electrifying spiritual moment I've ever experienced with Prince on stage. Like those two moments for me, if you really want to understand what when Ray Charles said the only difference between gospel and the blues is that they say Lord, Lord, and we say baby, baby. I mean, I think those two performances, right? Those two performances really let you know that gospel and blues are two sides of the same coin. I'll shut up.
Oh, so Drea Dances has my heart because my favorite, depending on when you ask me, so my favorite Prince song of all time is Joy and Repetition. Unless I'm in my rude girl phase, then it's Sexuality, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I love that Joy and Repetition, the guitar solo on One Night Alone is Drea Dance's favorite guitar solo.
No, I'm sorry.
Repetition doesn't get enough. Like, we don't talk about Joy and Repetition enough.
I was mixing the two songs up. That's what I meant, Joy and Repetition. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Jared Dances, for yes. For solo, I was mixing the two songs up. My bad.
Thank God for the chat.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad we got the chat. Yeah. Because when you talk about guitar solo, it's Joy and Repetition from One Night Alone. Thank you, Jared Dances.
Yeah,
we're giving you grace because we get older. We be doing it.
Right.
I knew it was. Oh, wait a minute! It was that one. Like Grandpa. Go on now. I know what I mean.
Exactly.
You know what I mean.
Come here. Boy, you know what your name is. Come here.
Yeah.
So my grandmother used to call my mom's name,
right?
My name, and then
run through all of them, right? And get to you at the last one. Like, they gotta run through the whole family.
Yeah, and I know who you're talking to. Right. All right. So, do we have any comments? So, we've talked about the question of you being amazing, especially live. There's so many amazing live versions of the question of you, but definitely what I consider the definitive one is the Electric Man from the new tour. But do you want to say anything additional about? Go ahead, Michael. I feel like
I got a question for both of you guys about this. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. So they're bringing up the Jimi Hendrix thing here.
That's what I was.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to ask, why do you guys? I mean, not that I don't know the answer, but I'm just curious. I want to see you guys' perspective, and hopefully this, because I think when we were coming up real time with Prince, I felt like this was spoken about a lot. Yep. The comparisons with Jimmy, Prince, and I don't know how much it means today to some of the younger people, but just to sort of maybe give them some context to like this, why was that conversation important? So I'm asking you guys, why do you think that Prince was trying to make sure to tell people in the press, don't compare me necessarily to Jimi Hendrix, maybe compare me to Santana? Like, why is the point to say that? And I feel like this is kind of bringing that up again. Like, I'm curious what you guys think about this.
So for two reasons.
I love this. First of all, real quick, Leo says Michael has a question for you.
There you go. So I think for two reasons. Number one is Prince was always, he understood the death trap of being placed in a box. And so once you start comparing people, think about all the people who got compared to Prince when they came out and got put in that death trap. And then people weren't able to appreciate them for what they were doing because everybody was expecting them to be like Prince. So I think number one, it was, I just don't want to be in this death trap of whatever you think I should be doing. Number two, it was because, again, I'm also not going to let you limit me by who and what I can be, right? And I agree with that, Rock. But that is, if you start saying I'm the next Jimi Hendrix, you then gonna discount when I play this funk. You're gonna discount when I play this R&B. And I'll add to that. I remember when my man Darius of Hootie and Blowfish came out with Back to Den. I love that album. And I remember hearing a lot of black folks say he shouldn't be doing R&B. Stick to what he was doing with Hootie and them. And that broke my heart because I love the Back to Den. Like my wife and I, when that album came out, we bought 3 of them. We bought 3 CDs, one for the house and one for each one of our cars. That's how much we love the Back to Den CD. But black people just discounting it, not on the face of the music, but because we are stuck. So I think those couple of things where Prince didn't want to be held into a box, and he didn't want you to limit him. He wanted to make sure that you don't do that to me. Right. That's it. That one black guy. And then finally, because it was truthful, and I'll say it was truthful this way. Jimi Hendrix was a blues guitarist who didn't care about the precision of the note. So it's interesting that Jimmy was influenced by B.B. King. B.B. King played the notes more precisely. Jimmy was more interested in blurring and bending and fogging and hazing the notes. Santana is a very pristine player. Santana is very interested in landing precisely on top of the notes. So that's the other part about it was really clear that if you just listen to the note playing, Prince played really pristine notes in the way that Santana played pristine notes, as a way that Jimmy played blurred and bent notes. That's it. I'll shut up on all that.
Okay. All right, D'Angelo.
So for me, it really boils down to what Kim has already shared with us. There can only be one kind of syndrome, the thing that happens. And also, I think Prince, at least in the beginning, not so much when he became an elder statesman. Well, in the beginning, you could always hear Prince's influences, and you knew he was rooted in all the genres, not just one genre. But I think that he didn't want to be pigeonholed in any genre or attached to any person, meaning that he was derivative of. You know what I mean? So especially in the beginning. So I think that's the reason why, because, obviously Jimi Hendrix is on his influence wall at Paisley Park. So I just think, it kind of, like someone wrote in the chat, the misunderstood statement, don't make me black, meant don't make me part of the black music department.
Right.
Is what he meant by that, because he wanted to be in the category of music, not any genre, not even rock, he just wanted to traverse genres and basically create a genre of his own, which he did. Because the thing is, a lot of times, it's even in the 80s, when you heard people try to emulate Prince, it never sounded like Prince. It was derivative of Prince, but it never sounded like Prince.
Right.
So I think that was really important to him, to be unique in his sound. And since we're talking about The Question of You, I do think that the guitar solo of The Question of You is more Santana than Hendrix, personally, when it comes to The Question of You in particular, because it's so pretty. The solo, I'm talking about the solo, the guitar solo is so beautiful, and the notes are more precise, as you mentioned, Celie. So that's my comment on that. Great question.
Right on. All right. It's funny you bring it up, because you're saying like he was actually the amalgamation, or he was influenced by all of it. But I wonder if, because he wasn't so influenced by all of it, is a part of him too, just on the ego level. Like, I want you to think I'm just, my own thing, even though I'm actually built off the backs of all of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
In the beginning. Yeah. I don't, by the time we get, and it had been happening earlier, but definitely by the time we get to musicology, bringing on Larry Graham, he wanted people to know.
He's a lot older and more mature and experienced now, and understanding, no, it's actually better for us to be standing together, united. This is how we.
Yes. And I think one of the main reasons why, there's a lot of reasons why he didn't want Maurice White to be his producer for his first album.
Right.
Exactly. A lot of it was about, he wanted to have his own sound. He did not want to be derivative of anybody else's sound, no matter who they were.
Right. Yeah. And to that point about don't make me black, and I'm glad you clarified that, and I talk about that a lot. What people don't understand is the black music department only had a connection to black radio. So if you come out with a record like Dirty Mind or Controversy, where's it gonna get played? Right. Some of it on Controversy can get played on black radio. So it is, if you put me in the black music department, but I'm writing songs that can't get played on black radio, my record is dead in the water. So yeah, it was a musicology thing. It was a musicality thing. Allow me to be everything that influenced me, and that'll be black music. I think, and I think the bottom line is, by the time Prince signs his deal, right? That's okay, Kim. By the time Prince signs his deal, so much of black culture had been taken from black people that it's shame that Prince had to kind of take back what had been taken from black people by saying, I'm not going to be the black that you define black people to be, because that definition you have of black people is uber limiting. And Prince was clear enough in the history of black music to say, nope, black people are more than what you say we are. And by letting you define me as black, you're going to be taking away the beauty and power of everything that black people has been. I'll shut up.
I don't know, Kim. Maybe this should be a discussion for later, but I just listen to what you're saying, Celie. It just makes me want to ask more questions. So it's interesting. Like, I understand why Prince is on this battle and on that sort of plane. It's also interesting his contemporaries aren't necessarily on that, and they're just as great as well. So it's interesting. So the coexisting of, and again, I don't know if this plays into, if we want to have this conversation because he's a light-skinned black person as opposed to some of the darker contemporaries of that time for him that are not pushing. Like Zapp isn't saying, I don't want to be a black group, right? Like, I don't know if George Clinton said that either, but it's interesting that he is maybe seeing a different lane that he wants to be in, more, like you said, pop world. I don't want to be pigeonholed to nothing. I want to be on this, you know. So I don't know. It's just interesting, man, when you're really looking at Prince. Go ahead.
I want to answer this question because I don't have to resolve it, because I've been talking about it for 40 fucking years. I don't have to resolve it because I saw Prince live 3 times before Purple Rain. So I don't have to resolve it because me and the 70% of the black people who were in that audience love fucking rock and roll music. Me and the 70% of the black people who in that audience love Dirty Mind. Me and the black, see, this it's not just about Prince being on black radio. It's about the black people who were, those of us who were listening to Prince from 4U to 1999. We heard I'm Yours. We loved I'm Yours. We were rocking to I'm Yours. So it's not about having to resolve it, because the black people who were Prince fans before Purple Rain, we were rock and roll fans. We were Jimi Hendrix fans. We were Little Richard fans. We were Chuck Berry fans. See, it wasn't the black people who didn't understand who we were prior to Purple Rain. It was the white people who had co-opted and colonized rock and roll and said, now that we've taken your music, you can only be this. And Prince is saying, I'm going to be more than that. And Prince understood that the black people who were with him before Purple Rain, he knew we understood that. Prince was surprised when the very few black people started saying, oh, he done sold out. And Prince was like, what the fuck? But it wasn't the majority of black people who were with Prince before Purple Rain. It was a few black people who were saying that. So we don't have to resolve it. What we have to do is speak to the truth that it was white media and white industry who took Little Richard. I need to say this point. Little Richard was signed to RCA Records. And then when they signed Elvis, they moved Little Richard from RCA to Camden. Why? So that Little Richard could be the R&B act and Elvis could be the rock act. That's why Little Richard says R&B never meant rhythm and blues. It meant real black. So from the very moment that RCA moved Little Richard from the RCA label to the Camden label, that is when white people created that line. Black people over here, white people over here, but black people never bought into that. And we were loving Prince and guitar all the way up to when white people finally showed up after Little Red Corvette got put in heavy rotation on MTV, and that is when the demographics changed. But for me, for those 3 first concerts before Purple Rain, it was 65-75% black because we love rock and roll. I'll shut up.
We're gonna keep going. I could ask you something else about that, but this will turn into something else. But
Right.
Man, brilliant.
Okay, so Duke says it's Verdine White, not Maurice White, that was tapped for you. But I've seen where it said, well, I've read places where it was Maurice. So can you let me know, can you give me some references and things of that nature? It'd be really great. And let's see what is it. So Maurice White was not tapped to produce for you. It's Verdine White and a part of that CBC. Threw for Prince and his manager to try to get them to go with them. He was loud enough for Verdine and the CBS executives to hear, how can he produce me? He can only play bass. Okay.
And Duke is plugged into CBC out there. I think he works there or something like that.
CBS, yeah.
No, I'm talking about in Canada, I want to say.
Oh, in Canada. Oh, CBC. Yeah.
I'm shout out to Duke, man. That's the man.
Thanks, Duke, for that correction. We really appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna move on, even though we could stay there forever.
Yeah.
So, Michael, do you mind reading Monday, July 7th? Skip the quote and skip the first paragraph for Monday, July 7th.
Train. You can't have a song called that and be Prince and not somebody like Eggplant. Tracking and mix, Galpin Blvd, home studio, Chanhassen, Minnesota. Producer Prince, artist Prince, engineer Susan Rogers, assistant engineer Todd Herman. Skip the quote. All right.
And skip the first paragraph.
All right. Prince was often a contradiction of moods, and this is why his music reflected what he was feeling, not just on that specific day, but because he would often record more than one track during a session, it exposed his mood for that specific hour or two. On days like this, his mood seemingly bounced from the serious lyrical longing of Train to the playful tone of Eggplant, which was a testament to the range of his artistic skills. With Prince, his inspirations are often impossible to trace, and because he recorded as much as he did, he had a constant need for something to trigger him to create something new. Although we will likely never know the full story, the title for Train may have come from something as basic as the name on one of his pieces of equipment. What I remember is having a train sample on the Fairlight, recalls Todd Harmon. It was a stock sound effect on the Fairlight Series 2, and I think we just sequenced in and triggered the sound on the keyboard. But that set up the groove.
See, Michael Dean.
So what's that?
Michael Dean.
Right. Train is a soulful love song about. Why are you joking about this, Deandra? That's Train is a beautiful. Excuse me. Train. It is beautiful. Train is a soulful love song about the final time saying goodbye to his partner. Prince created the drums using the Fairlight. Once the bed was built for the track, Prince added bass, guitars, and several synths, including the Fairlight. He also recorded a guide track for the trumpet and sax. Eric Leeds remembers what Prince expected when he recorded his sax parts on the keyboard for songs like Train. He'd occasionally do that. It would depend if he was there. I can't recall if he was there for that session, so he might have just left it. Here's your guide and made it really easy. We just copied that. After midnight, Prince's tone changed when he started on Eggplant, a playful but slightly insensitive song about a self-obsessed woman who was as dumb as an eggplant, and his warning to a friend to avoid her. Prince tracked this fairly quickly, and once the basic elements, including the OB8 synth, cowbell, guitar, and bass line from the Esonic Mirage synth were recorded, he added his vocals and mixed the track. The following day, he'd have Wendy and Lisa add their own touches to the song. Status: Train 4 minutes and 22 seconds would be added to the configuration of Dream Factory, but removed when the album was reduced from 3 discs to 2. The following year, it was offered to Bonnie Raitt for her shelved Paisley Park album, and eventually found a home on Mavis Staples' 1989 album Time Waits for No One. The version with Prince's vocals remained unreleased during his lifetime. Eggplant, 5 minutes and 17 seconds, was not a part of any configuration of Dream Factory, Crystal Ball, or Sign of the Times, and also remained unreleased during his lifetime. Both tracks from this session were included on the excellent Sign of the Times Super Deluxe Edition in 2020. And I would just say, Eggplant is one of my favorite songs on that deluxe edition. Yes, I had heard there was a bootleg version of that song that came out. I think Wendy is singing it or something, which I hated it. I couldn't understand what was going on. But hearing this, to me, is just so funky. And I wish they just kept jamming toward the end of that song when him and Eric kind of locking in. But I love Eggplant. It's just hilarious, but it's just that whimsy, funky ass Prince that I love. So there you go.
I'm gonna go the opposite way, because the Mavis Davis album is tied for either my third or fourth favorite Paisley Park non-Prince release. So George Clinton's 2 albums, particularly Cinderella Theory, those are my 2 favorite non-Prince Paisley Park records. I can't tell y'all how much time I spent with Mavis's album Time Waits for Nobody. Like I can't, like it was like one of the albums I always wanted Prince to make, right? It was one of the albums with a person who influenced him. And so Train just has a special thing in my heart. And both, it's rare when I love both Prince's demo and the artists at the same, both of them. And I'll say this about the Mavis Staples album. This is not to say whether or not people like the songs or not, but I always love the quote that Mavis said. She said that Prince and I put out an album about my love life, and we found out that nobody cared about Mavis's love life. Like that was Mavis. Because and when you think about it, who Mavis was at that time, she was the monarch. She was the gospel monarch, right? So, to hear songs like Jaguar and Interest. I remember when they first came on, I was here like, I don't know if I would hear my grandma talking about getting busy. Like, you don't really, I had to kind of step back.
Yeah.
It was Mavis singing about, when you walked in, you put this on my mind. Like, no, grandma, hell no, I don't.
It'd be like Dionne Warwick did an album with Future or something.
Yeah, exactly. But once I step back, and also because I really love Time Waits for No One, like that's a video and a song that I play. So I was like you. I kind of like the Prince version of Eggplant better. It's one of those what I call whimsical kind of pop, whimsical kind of songs. But Train really does have a special place in my heart just because I really love that album and I spent so much time. And also, I connected with one of my uncles around that Mavis Davis album. Like, my uncle, one of my memories of my uncle is him drinking E&J and smoking cigarettes and listening to the Mavis Staples album. Like that's and he would be and his two favorite Prince outputs was that Mavis Staples album and For You.
Okay. Nice.
He was at the house when I was playing. He came in. He said, "That's your boy." I was like, "Yeah, that's his first album." He was like, "Okay," and he gave me that. Okay, and that's all.
I get it. Yeah.
But every now and then he would say, "Hey nephew, put that For You on," and he would be pouring his E&J. Put that For You on. All right, I shut up.
See that what you described. My dad did that to me one time, and I remember it was a thing when older cats acknowledged Prince. They was like, "This is when you like he all right." Yeah, he be jamming. I listen. I don't listen to all of it, but some. Yeah.
All right, so.
And
go ahead.
One other thing I want to say this, Brother Sneak 22. I got your point when you clarified it, that you were talking about budgets. I didn't. So your first question, I didn't understand that you were talking about budgets. But to your point about budgets, you are absolutely correct, Brother Sneak, that Prince didn't fully get the budget that he deserved early on. So so Brother Sneak, I hear what you're saying about your ultimate point being about budgets. I'm with you on that about budgets. I said it. Go ahead, Prop Duff.
I thought you were about to say, Brother Sneak, I got you on them budgets, motherfucker. Like, oh, you about to get crazy. You talking a lot of shit in the chat.
I get when you like misunderstood, and I know, and I always want to make sure that we understand everybody. And he was clear like, your ass don't understand me. So I'm like, let me.
I be watching the temperature. No, address his comment. Put his comment up there. I was messing.
Oh my God.
That's my brother.
And this is why we come here every Saturday. So for y'all who are new, this is the kind of party we have every Saturday. All right, go ahead, Prop Duff.
Oh, I'm still thinking about Future and Dionne Warwick. I want that to happen.
It could be.
I think it could be hot. All right.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to read the next.
Dionne Warwick doing Spin That. Okay, that's.
No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's too far.
We not going to open up them can of worms.
No, I'm just being funny, but not at the same time.
Wait now, baby, ain't it all that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say
the
this.
sad thing is it probably will happen. Unfortunately, they're gonna get one of the aunties, and she gonna have the most ratchet song. That's when I give up.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. I probably shouldn't say this because I know Kim is like tired of us saloning and quantum realming and all of that.
My bad, Kim.
I do wish in real time that, I mean, just like as you know, maybe Prince could have had like an alias, but everybody would have known it was Prince. But like, what if Pharrell would have produced an entire Prince album? I would have loved to hear someone like that. Or Timbaland, like meaning like when they were in their heyday, Prince was like, let's do a collab and I'll let you know, but I'm not going to come out as Prince. I'm going to be like, I don't know, whatever alias he will take. I think it would have been really cool.
It could have been, yeah.
Can I hear your point and then raise it even more?
Sure, let's do it.
One of my complaints about Hit and Run Part 1.
Oh, yeah, I already know what you're gonna say.
is that he did what I didn't want him to do. But just like you just said, there were so many other quality hip hop producers that he could have done it with.
You wanted to get a certified.
You know what I'm saying? Like again, when I say this, I don't want people to think I'm hating on Joshua Welch, right? I don't want. This is not a anti-Joshua Welch. I like with him. I like with everybody. I love the Third Eye Girl band. But if you are going to then say, I'm going to do an album with a young hip-hop producer, Pharrell, Dallas Austin, Jermaine Dupri, I mean, and y'all can put more in the chat because y'all know I'm the least hip-hop person on the planet, but there were so many, to your point, young hip-hop producers who we know were inspired by Prince.
Outkast,
that he could have just said, hey, man, y'all take these 10 songs.
Now that.
Do what y'all feel like.
Organized noise in Prince.
Organized noise. Yeah, I mean, he could have just said, take these 10 songs and y'all call me when y'all through. And I think then Hit and Run Phase 1 would have been the album he thought, or what we, because there's some other issues I have with it other than like, hey, when I buy a Prince album, I want to hear Prince singing. I just don't really want to hear the opening song. Somebody. So by the way, Estate,
on that, I hated that.
So Estate, if there is a version with Prince's vocal on that first song from that album, please let me know so I can do that. Yeah, okay, I'll shut up. That's it.
But just to be clear, we don't want to give the Estate the wrong idea.
Oh no, we're talking about in real.
Do not take his tracks and ship them off to Hoop the Hoop Whoop to have them remix it. We ain't. That's when I'll be outside Paisley Park with the pickets. Hell, because ain't no way.
No. The key word was collab, and Prince.
I see Londale.
No, I wouldn't like that either. But I always thought, I was like, why doesn't Prince do this? I mean, because like I thought that, you know, maybe there was a chance when he played keys on Common's Electric Circus when Questlove was producing
Right.
that.
Right.
And I was like, okay, now like maybe he'll, you know, like do some more collabing on an album level. I thought that would have been. And I'll take it. I'll take what you said, Celia, and I'll raise it even further. What I really wanted was Prince to get into like drum and bass and dubstep. Like, what would Prince's version of drum and bass and dubstep be? But like with one of the key players, like Goldie, or you know, someone like that. I think it would have been incredible if he would have started doing
let's
some.
not forget, Prince did give us this though.
Yes.
And we're gonna shout out my man Shock G, the Digital Underground.
Yes.
You know, he did give us,
and it was good.
It was dope.
It was good. That's what I'm saying. It's like go to the people that you know can do it. And Kim, I don't want to speak for everybody. We're not saying that that's what we wanted him to do. I'm saying that in lieu of what he did on Hit and Run Phase 1, here are some alternatives to what you did on Hit and Run Phase 1. That's all I'm saying is, like, I never wanted him to do that. But if you gonna do it, right, then here are some different ways to do it. That's all I was saying. All right, that's it.
I guess, and I'm sorry, Mike, and I guess to clarify what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that if he, and the reason why I point out Pharrell and Timbaland, because they were quirky in their production. They were forward thinking. They had their own sound. I mean, meaning like, and in the same with, you know, Outkast, Organized Noise, any of those people who were like really pushing the sound. And for me, it was about a true collaboration, because I feel like, except for, you know, like some of the live shows and, you know, some of the live jams, it really wasn't a true collaboration in the studio when it came to Prince and other people. I mean, there were some exceptions, because I know people are going to start listing the exceptions in the chat, but I'm talking about on an entire album project level. That's the reason why I think it would have been great if it was like an alias of his, not like came out as Prince and whoever, but his alias and somebody else. I think it would have been pretty cool just to see him collaborate in the studio on a really deep level with someone who is like pushing the sound.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting seeing Duke mention Maurice White's name. It almost reminds me of the same reason why Prince didn't want to have Maurice White do him. Now we're saying he should have somebody younger, that maybe he influenced, do his stuff. Which I think would be a great thing, but I can see why we would never get nothing like that. And like somebody said, it would have not came out anyway. And it's not to say he may have done this and we just have no idea about this as well. But it would have been interesting. I wonder though if it would have taken a certain type of producer to really have the balls to guide Prince in the studio. And I wonder if those guys, I don't know if they would really be up to that task. Not that I know them, but I can imagine how intimidating that must be. It's one thing to just give him some beats, but it'd be another thing to be in the studio. And you know, Prince is not that type. Prince is the challenger. Like Prince is the gladiator. Oh, you know music? And throw the guitar at you. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
And if that's that he was super aggressive on the nigga. So I can imagine most of them probably like, I think what's my man from Atlanta? He was mentioned in here. Did the TLC songs, Dallas Austin. He tells the story of going to Paisley Park and Prince kind of trying to swindle him. Yo, won't you come up on stage, Playboy? And he's like, nah, I'm good because I already know what you're about to do.
Right.
You're not gonna have me looking crazy up here. So I think it would be a certain type of producer that would, and maybe that's why it was a younger person who we did get, or even like an Andy Ello, I think, you know, brings a lot of what her energy was, but he's somebody that he can guide as opposed to be sort of, I'm on the same level as you. Cause I don't think he would be able to tone it down. And he would probably run them producers about it here. Cause you were here all night, Prince? Yeah, I already finished the song. What you gonna add to, you know, he's that type of guy.
Well, we know, so Michael, for the record, we know that this would have never happened.
Right.
I would have loved if Prince had the capacity to really
Right.
deep collaboration with someone that was really pushing the boundaries. I thought, I think it would have been like a beautiful, like just a beautiful arrangement. If that could have happened, but I know that would have never happened.
So two quick things. Dallas Austin was like, "You ain't finna turn me into Bud Light. I'm not finna be Bud Light forever and ever." So
Yes.
that's number one. And then two more quick. So
you see how he did Miles Davis.
Right.
He tried to challenge Miles on stage. So these cats, he would have ate them up.
So and Sister TP, this is a good point. I don't disagree with you. Like I think Prof Duff mentioned it too. By that time, Prince was in his career where he was trying to put young people on and give them some game. So I want to be clear. I'm not hating on Joshua at all. I'm just saying that I think there could have been somebody else who could have given us a little bit more. And there was one other third thing. I can't remember the third. It was that, but like anyway, I forgot what the third thing. I'm old. Let's move on.
All right, I'm gonna start Tuesday, July 8th, 1986, because I know Kim is like, really? Train overdubs, horn overdubs mix, Eggplant horn overdubs mix, Galpin Blvd home studio, Chanhassen, Minnesota. Producer Prince, artist Prince, engineer Susan Rogers, assistant engineer Todd Herman. Todd Herman says Eric Leeds was on almost everything. I think Prince really respected Eric, and I agree with that statement. Leeds agrees with Herman's assessment, at least conditionally. I did what he couldn't do. Sometimes it was no more than that. It appears that the previous days, I love that quote, it's so Eric. Okay. It appears that the previous day's session continued to today. So before Prince wrapped up, Eric Leeds and Matt Atlanta Bliston were brought in to play sax and trumpet on Train and Eggplant. Prince wants things done yesterday, but at times I felt that didn't lend itself to the best results, particularly when he was mixing something. The one thing about his music that was very inconsistent were his mixes, details Leeds. I am going to skip painfully the paragraph quote from Eric Leeds. That's the reason why you need the book. You got to get the book because you can't read everything. You got to get the book. Susan Rogers created a mix of Eggplant with the horns. Later that day, Wendy was recruited to replace sections of Prince's lead vocals with her own. It is likely that Prince left the studio after he asked Wendy to add more of her voice to the track. During the times that Prince left the girls in charge, it was a more relaxed atmosphere, according to Wendy. It was easier to make fun of the stuff when it was kind of bad, like the song Eggplant. We fought hard. I was like, dude, it's just not very good. This is not. And he was, just do it. And we're FUCK. We were kicking and screaming about that song. And when he wasn't around while we were doing it, I could be like, yes, effing hate this song. It sucks. Laughs. Prince would have Susan oversee the recording of Wendy and Lisa's background vocals. I remember there was a vocal part at the end that has Lisa singing Eggplant. I was in the control room recording. Prince wasn't there at this time, but Lisa was doing backing vocals, repeatedly singing Eggplant, and we just got the giggles. It seemed absurd. The absurdity continued with Prince singing Cocoa Boogie, Gonna Rock Your Soul, Whipped Cream Pie, and A Shake to Go. Tickled by the ridiculousness, Wendy and Lisa added a background chant of a caravan of Parmesan. That was just something silly that we ended up saying because it was Eggplant, and we were pretending we were singing like Carmina Burana, Eggplant, Parmesan, and we just started doing crazy things like that, explains Lisa. It would just end up on tape somehow. That was always part of the process. It's like, let's see, we need bass, check, lead vocal, check, guitar part, check. And we might need to fill in this section. Silly talking? Yeah, got to do that. Check. And that is.
All right. So my homework for both of y'all.
Okay.
Is the next time y'all interview any musician that played with Prince. Because I've always wanted to know this question. And I'm also, if I get a chance, I'm going to ask Brother Ted this question too. Because I've always been interested in this question. I want y'all to ask them, what was their least favorite song to play live? Because we always ask them what's their favorite song to play live, right? Everybody says, what's your favorite song to play live? But I'm always interested because I think people forget that, yeah, it's art and people are making art, but this shit is a job too. And sometimes you show up at the job and you know, and so hearing Wendy talk about just like not liking this.
This is a opinion.
Right, there you go. So you just got to play the song. And so so that's my thing is that I've always wanted to know from musicians what song, particularly one we played with Prince, which one was the one that just didn't move you, but you played it anyway. And it's not about the knock on the song. I want to be clear. For me, it's about thinking about how professionals and particularly professional musicians approach something when it may not be the thing that they want to do. I'll shut up.
Don't ask Eric Lees that question.
Oh, there you go.
All the things.
He got a list. He said, well, I'm glad you asked. How much time you got, D'Angela?
Well, I am so looking forward to the Eric Lees book that's coming out, co-written by Duane. Yeah. So I cannot wait. This might turn into what did Eric Lees do this week. We're going to
hilarious.
But we're not going to do that just for you guys to go before the chat starts getting into an uproar. All right, Michael Dean, do you want to read Wednesday, July 9th?
Hold on. One last thing. Brother Sneak, I actually wrote a review of Matt Thorne's, it's a partial review of Matt Thorne's book, Famous, where I talk specifically about Chuck Berry and Ike Turner. That's all I discussed is Chuck Berry and Ike Turner. If you get a chance, go check out and read that review because I break down Chuck Berry's relationship with Keith Richards. And as my boy on Love Jones said, I broke it down so it forever be broke. All right, let's move on.
That's right. Okay, Michael.
Right. Wednesday, July 9th, 1986. It Ain't Over to the Fat Lady Sings. Tracking horn overdubs. Train edits and mix. Train instrumental. Probable mix. Galpin Blvd home studio. Tallahassee, Minnesota. Producer Prince. Artist Prince. Engineer Susan Rogers. Assistant engineer Todd Hammerman. Quote, no quote. Where we at?
We reading it. Let's do it.
All right. This is from Eric Lees. There was so much recording that we did in 86 particularly that never saw the light of day, which I think is some of the most wonderful stuff we ever did. And for whatever reasons, he decided that wasn't stuff that he wanted to release at the time. But that still doesn't mean it wasn't valid music. Wendy, Lisa, Alana Bliss, and Eric were gathered by Prince to explore It Ain't Over to the Fat Lady Sings, a new instrumental that he'd written. Although the origin of the title is not known, Prince had been, y'all help me out, vacillating?
Yeah, vacillating.
Vacillating.
One of my favorite words.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I love
that. Let's vacillate together about the ending of the revolution. So it isn't a stretch to imagine Prince once again putting his inner thoughts into his music by clearly stating that it ain't over till the Fat Lady Sings. For this session, we actually did the recording of the song at his house, recalls Leeds. But I have a recollection that we were rehearsing the song during the day at the warehouse. It was a long freaking 6-hour session. That was recorded at Prince's house, remembered Bliss. A lot of the gear was shifted over to Prince's house, and that's where we recorded a number of songs. Prince had a baby grand piano up in his living room, and Lisa played the piano up there while the rest of us were down in the studio. And it was real neat. It was a real neat session. It was very creative. It was probably one of those late night sessions, and we just worked out some real nice parts together. Man, we talk about these types of sessions a lot, but I just can't gloss over. Like, that's had to be a fantastic place to be, man. Just, it's great. That's at his house. At least 4 takes of the song were attempted before Prince was happy with the results. Although Eric refers to them not as takes, but more rehearsals than anything else. Once their parts were completed, Lisa and Wendy left, leaving Leeds and Bliston to add some additional horn sections. While Prince was overdubbing and mixing the instrumental, Eric noticed Wendy's skills from the session.
Skip that whole quote from Eric and go to no one was better.
All right. No one was better than Prince. That's the thing. And if Prince can do you, that's it, reasons Wendy. Lisa was the only musician in his arsenal of people that he couldn't emulate. He could do me until the cows came home. He could do any of us. He couldn't do Eric Leeds because he didn't play a horn. But with Lisa, it was beyond respect. Additional recording and mixing were done for Train, including an instrumental version of the track. Status: It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings, 2 minutes and 19 seconds, remained unreleased during his lifetime, but was included on the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe Edition in 2020. Claire Fisher wrote and arranged the orchestra parts, which were recorded on August 18th and September 4th of 1986. And that's Casey Kasem.
All right.
You
So
just told all our age.
I'm going to say this really quickly. I was interviewed for work for this video that we're putting together, and it's for students. And I made a reference to E.T., and they told me that I couldn't reference E.T. because our students wouldn't know who E.T. was.
Oh, wow.
Okay, got it. So,
Hilarious.
E.T. phone home.
yes. So, the only thing I want to say, because I've already talked to it, ain't over to the Fat Lady Sings. For me, the song is way too short. This is a song. It says 2 minutes and like 16 seconds. It needs to be much, much longer. It's one of my favorites. It puts me in the best mood. It's fun. It's just, I don't know. It's just a really great track.
I agree.
It's one of those songs. I rarely like rearrange stuff, but I don't have it on my Sign of the Times playlist. I have it on my Madhouse playlist.
Okay.
So it fits for me better there than on my Sign of the Times playlist. And plus, they're kind of like in the same time frame, so I don't feel too bad about having them there. So I'm like you. I enjoy it, and if it's longer, I would like it.
And just really quick, Modern Era, I've never seen E.T. either, and I don't need to see E.T.
Really?
Yes, I've never seen E.T.
Never?
Yeah. Never, ever. Yes.
Wow.
So, okay. All right. So I'm going to read our last reading just to try to speed it up, if that's okay, because I want us to end on time, because I don't want anybody.
YouTube joke is taking too long.
Yes, going off in the chat, because we went over 3 hours last week, Michael Dean. So,
oh, man. I was doing the print sessions for real.
But it was about the Sheridan, Wyoming.
Oh, man. Sheridan.
Yeah.
What are you? You cowboys and cowboys?
There you go. Hey, brother. I know, but Brother Dean, I told him last week, to this day, my wife is still pissed off about all of that. So if I'm watching that live performance, she will walk through the room just to go, shit in Wyoming, and keep walking. She is still pissed off. All right, let's go ahead. Come on.
Okay, I'm going to read the final thing. Saturday, July 12, 1986. Eggplant, various overdubs mix. Eggplant, instrumental probable mix. It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings, probable mix. Dream Factory album, adjustments to the order, crossfades mix. Sunset Sound, Studio 3, 2 p.m. to 7:30. 2 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. I'm going to slow down on that. 2 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. Booked, locked out. Producer Prince, artist Prince, engineer Susan Rogers and Coke Johnson, assistant engineer Todd Herman. And if you haven't noticed, we are back in LA when we've been at Galpin Blvd all week until Saturday. So one of those days he was traveling. So that takes care of one of the days. All right. We are going to skip the Susan Rogers quote. You got to read it in your own books. For the first time in weeks, Prince was back in Sunset Sound Studio 3, which in many ways was as sheltered from others as his home studio. That building is self-contained, recalls Craig Hubler, Sunset Sound's general manager during that era. It's got its own bathrooms and whatever, and he could just isolate himself in that room and didn't really have to mingle with the rest of the complex. Sunset Sound had inspired Prince to create his own larger fortress in Minneapolis where he could record, rehearse, and conduct all of his business without dealing with the schedules of others or any additional roadblocks obstructing his creative flow. Creative flow is so important. Okay. When he wanted something, he didn't want to wait. He was also feeling frustrated about having to rent additional studio equipment. So creating a fully equipped studio like Paisley Park would be a perfect sanctuary from almost every distraction, but it was still months away from being completed. So while he waited, Sunset Sound continued to be his LA studio of choice. Today's session started with 6 hours of overdubs. 6 hours of overdubs for Eggplant. It is likely that this was when Prince asked Winnie to add her voice to a conversation with Prince in the song, but playing someone other than herself, using a name referenced in Starfish and Coffee. Prince calls her Lucy, but it is just a fictitious character, so he could be playing someone that wasn't Prince, explained Susan Rogers, and she could be playing someone that wasn't Wendy, and they are talking like schoolyard friends. An instrumental version of the track was also probably created on this date. After dinner, Prince spent 10 hours working on the track. I wonder if his dinner was like Doritos and coffee. I wonder what that dinner was. Prince spent 10 hours working on the track, likely a mix of It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings. At that point, it did not yet contain Claire Fisher's orchestral arrangement, which would be recording the following month. The assembly of the Dream Factory album from June 3rd was also adjusted, with Wonderful Day likely replaced by Train. He was also the guy who liked writing things down, reflects Lisa. Prince would say, I'm going to make a record. This is side A and this is side B, but it would change every day. Writing it down on a piece of paper looked cool and made you feel like you're really doing it.
Read that again.
Okay. Writing it down, I'm going to slow it down, on a piece of paper looked cool and made you feel like you're really doing it.
Thank you.
Additional work on Dream Factory would continue over the next week. Prince continued at his usual brisk pace until 6:47 a.m. when a 5.4 magnitude quake shook Southern California off the coast of San Diego. Smaller earthquakes were relatively common in this region, and in fact, this was the second sizable quake within a week, but it rattled him. Prince hated them. He hated earthquakes, according to Susanna. He was really scared to be out of control in every possible way. When the earth shakes underneath you, that's something he did not like. That was almost spiritual, like, okay, those were the gods speaking. That's what I need to be afraid of. And that triggered his creative self, and he had to go right. Prince asked for the engineers to make an output of what was recorded over the last 17 hours. To 5 C60 tapes, and the session ended soon afterward.
Aftershock.
Yes. So, Celie, do you want to speak to that passage you wanted me to reread? About everything.
Yeah, and I always like that Prince was always visualizing where he was trying to go. And I think that for young creators, it's really important not to just visualize where you're trying to go in your head, but to make that visualization physical as much as possible. Like I used to always tell my students, just put something on the paper, right? Just if you're having struggling writing, right, whether it's an essay or poem, whatever, or if you're a filmmaker, goddamn it, just put something on the video, like you because seeing it. It really, as he said, seeing it is really making it happen. And I think a lot of times, whatever goal people have, they don't accomplish that goal because they just never take the first steps of making it physical, right? Making it to where you could see it. And I've worked on book projects. I'm in the middle of working on a book project now. Seeing it written down, seeing the table of contents, seeing all of that stuff, it really does give you the notion that it's happening. And for something to be happening is almost the inspiration in and of itself, right? It's almost like you lose them first 2 pounds, that gives you the motivation to lose them other 3 or 4. So that's why I really like that writing it, seeing it, and I want more people in the chat to visualize, not just in their head, write it down, make pictures of it. Do all of that because it'll keep you going. All right. Thank you for that, brother. That's it.
All right. Actually, I'm going to take a little time, just maybe 5 minutes. I'm curious, Michael Dean, like, what's your process? I mean, just for like all your podcasts, like when, like, you know, do you write it down or do you have it in your head, like in terms of ideas for, you know, different episodes, all that?
I don't write it down. I'm just joking.
But you know what, Brother Dean, you may be Jay-Z like that. You may not need to write it down.
Yeah. You know, I would say, well, in terms of ideas, you know, I get a lot of my ideas when I'm driving. When I drive into Seattle, that's when the ideas come. I'm listening to music, and I was like, oh, think of that. So that's what I do. I just think of it, and then I'll write them down. But yeah, so definitely. But it's more of the for me, the creative flow is just when I have a time to think and allow myself, okay, let me get into this space of this so I can asking questions of myself. That's kind of how I do it.
If I had like a explosion sound, I would, but I would do this instead. What you just said is so important, Michael Dean. And I think a lot of people today, in this day and age, with so many distractions, with so many notifications, with so many things that you got to check, all your social media accounts, blah, 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 responding to everybody, blah, blah, blah. People never really have time to think. If they're always on their phone, or if they're always like doing the scroll.
Yeah.
So what you just said in combination with what C. Lee said is extremely powerful. And I know you're probably like, this is just a podcast, like who cares? Those two things can really change your life.
Absolutely.
For real.
Yeah.
And one of the keys though, for me though, is what Michael Dean said, is that you have to have time to think and not be distracted. And you have to get in what I call like a creative flow. You have to get into like a flow state. And I can only do that if I'm alone. But I'm sure other people can do that in collaboration. So I'm curious about you. Well, I think C. Lee, for you, you would be alone. But anybody in chat, can you get in a flow state? I'm assuming for musicians, particularly in a band, you can definitely get into a flow state, whether you're rehearsing or jamming or on stage. But in terms of actually creating like a song, let's say you're recording it in the studio, I'm sure that's quite different from rehearsing or even playing live in terms of what the different kinds of flow states.
And two, I would, I would throw, a muse, whatever that is. Those types of things can be very, really get you motivated to want to get into, as many times I'm a man. So as many times in my life, it's like, oh, this person here, I want to impress this person, or I want to, see what they think of this when it's done. So I want to come up with something cool because I know I want to see what they're going to think about it. That type of stuff too can be a good motivator.
Go ahead.
So I will say this actually is really important, Cynic, what you just posted. So Cynic says, what made it click for me was a brother telling me that everything you see not made by God was trapped in someone's brain until they brought it into the world. Now, the reason why Prince is so important to me is I did not have an ideal childhood. And the thing that got me through was Prince, because yes, it was his music, but it allowed me to realize that there is beauty in humanity if Prince could create such beauty through his music, and that people weren't all that bad, because Prince was like my dictionary. Oh, like this is what an amazing person can be. And so like that's really important, in that Prince brought all this beauty and wonder and just like so much into the world that we're still talking about today. Is so incredible, and positivity and all of that, and fun and and humor, and it's just so much.
And I'll say two quick things. One, to you and Sanique's point, and everybody, we've all heard this before. The graveyard is filled with more dreams that were actually realized, right? How many people took their dreams to their graveyard? So that Sanique's point made me think about that. My point is to die with no more dreams left in my head. Like that's my goal, is that when I die, ain't nothing left. Right. So that's the thing. And then the other thing, when you asked the question about being alone or not, this was a quote by Prince. Prince was talking about the moment he realized he was about his father. He was like his father. But for me, it became a quote that made me realize how it's difficult for artists to live with people. And Prince talked about he didn't really understand his father till one day he was in his room playing the piano. And I can never remember, I don't know how to pronounce the cook's name, whether it was Randy or Rand, because it's spelled R-A-N-D-E. So I don't know if it's Rand or Randy, the cook. And Prince said he was playing the piano, working out a song, and Randy walked in. All Randy was doing was bringing him his lunch, Brother D. That's all Randy doing, bringing your lunch. And Prince stopped playing, and I can see this look on Prince's face because he said, all I could think of is, why the hell would you walk in the room on a different beat? Like all this person is doing is walking into the room, bringing you your lunch. But to your point, Prof. Duff, when you are trying to create and you're trying to but then and Prince was like, oh, that's what the fuck was wrong with my father. Like, oh, like it was that. He said, after he said, he was like, oh, he was, damn, I am like my father, right? So for him, it was that, but for me, it was like, for creators, sometimes I get, okay, Randy, thank you, Rodney. So for me, it's like, I understand that I have to find moments to be alone, but I also had to learn not allowing my need for alone time to negatively affect my personal relationships, if that makes sense. And that's always the struggle for being a creative is you need so much time to create that you're constantly struggling with create time versus family time. And, so I'll just leave that part there. But yeah, all my girl was doing was bringing lunch but you walking in on a different beat. All right, I'll set up.
All right, so we're almost to the end. The only thing I want to do is show these handwritten notes showing the track listing of Dream Factory. This is from June 3rd of 1986, not today's in 1986 incarnation. But you can see here, so Visions, Dream Factory, It's a Wonderful Day, Dorothy Parker, It, Strange Relationship, Teacher, Starfish and Coffee, Wendy, In a Large Room with No Light, A Place in Heaven, Backwards, Sexual Suicide, Side 3, Crystal Ball. I really wish Crystal Ball would have been released. In Real Time, Power Fantastic. Side 4, Last Heart, Witness for the Prosecution. I can't believe Witness for the Prosecution never got released in real time, as well as Movie Star, A Place in Heaven, and All My Dreams, which is also an incredible song.
Man,
all right,
the timeline where that album came out was probably bananas. Like that's crazy. And that would have been what, a double or triple album?
It would have been a double album.
Double.
Yeah, we could have made it so, meaning like bought the thing. We would have. So we're at the end, Kim. Week 28. We got so far in 1986, 75 studio sessions total, 31 new songs, 8 live concerts total, 9 guest appearances. I am gonna skip through the music break, but I did see Flying Lotus live at the Blue Note with an actual band because he's an electronic artist, and it was amazing. I was really hoping that Thundercat was gonna show up, but Thundercat did not show up, but it still was really incredible. And his drummer was fantastic. His drummer's name was Marcus Gilmore. I remember that because my grandmother's maiden name was Gilmore. So I remember that. And I'm going to skip through all the music stuff for this week just to save time, because I really, really want to take time to say rest in peace to O, also known as Miss O. And I actually saw her at Celebration, but the thing is, O also came to the symposium, and I remember she came up, she gave me the biggest hug, and she came on Saturday, which was the first in-person day, and she told me that she wouldn't be able to make it on the Sunday. And I have a picture of her at the 2023 Triple Threat 40, and you can see that she's the one that's taking the selfie, and Tanja's in there, and Portia's in there. I know you're all in the chat right now. O was an incredible spirit. If you don't know who O was, or you didn't have an opportunity to spend any time with her, I'm going to tell you that I have met so many people in my lifetime, and I don't remember like when I met them or but I remember when I met O. It was during Celebration, and I could see her walk up to me and say her name, and then she was like, "You can just call me O." And I was okay, O. So I called her O, and ever since she did that, anytime that she would see me, she would have the brightest smile on her face. She would always give me the biggest hug. and she had nothing but kind words. Her spirit was just so kind. And because I saw her at Celebration, I just happened to pop on Facebook because I'm on Facebook, and I saw pictures of her, and I was like, what's going on? Like, you know, I was posting on her Facebook, so I thought her mom had passed. But then I realized, oh no, like, I was like, how is this possible? And so that day I was just so in shock. And yes, Portia, it was such a devastating loss. We miss her so much. She was indeed a beautiful, 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 beautiful soul. We're going to miss her. But what I really loved about her is that she represented for Prince 10 toes down. Like, she was always with all of, you know, the Prince events, and she was one of the best human beings I have ever had the privilege of meeting. So I just wanted to say that. And I'm going to quickly go to her GoFundMe so I don't break down, because I'm still kind of in shock. But there is a GoFundMe to honor the life and legacy of Ms. O. So if you were impacted by Miss O, please do, because I'm sure this is a really difficult time for her kids and her family. So anything that you can do, it would be amazing. And then also Jackie Thompson still has a GoFundMe, so please support all of our purple people. Jackie was crucial, critical, pivotal to Prince's success, so we definitely want to support Jackie. And again, we want to support Rich Benson with, unfortunately, the passing of his wife. We want to also help Addie Durant get back on her feet. And yay, I'm so happy that Troy's cancer is in remission, but there's still hospital bills. So please, 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 if you cannot donate $1 or $5, just send them a kind word and let them know that you are thinking about them. And Dr. Funkenberry still continues to battle with his cancer. And there's also a GoFundMe for Des Dickerson as well. And there's an accompanying playlist. I'm going to add some more, like C. Lee's favorite guitar solos and things in the chat. And I still miss Ricky. We are going to continue to represent for Ricky. He is sorely missed. And please donate to the Crons and Colitis Foundation in memory of Ricky, if you can. And the bit.ly link is The Flesh, because The Flesh was one of his favorite Prince projects. And we are at the end, and we got 8 minutes to go. Look at that. Yes. So with that being said, Celie, I feel like you want to say something, and then we'll have Michael take us out.
So as I always say, Miss O was the epitome of when I say, love the people you love, hug the people you love. Tell the people you love that you love them. Hug the people that you hug, because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know the last time you're going to see somebody. So hug the people you love the people, and tell them that you love them. Thank you guys in the chat for always showing up. Thank the two beautiful and brilliant people on the screen with me for creating this and doing this. I will also say that because of creativity, I was being a jerk the last 2 days, and y'all have chilled me out. Just coming here today, and I was being a jerk because there was some creative things and some things getting in. So this place helps me. Like I get focused on trying to create, and I'm working on some projects. And anytime something like that gets in my way, and I just want y'all to know that y'all actually had a real physical and emotional. I know I was laughing and joking, but I was like pissed off when I came on today, because I was trying to write, and I'm trying to. So thank y'all for making me realize, man, you tripping. Like, and like I could, you know, like I could justify that. Well, I'm right. No, I was tripping. I need everybody. I'm not going to disclose, but I was tripping, and just hanging out with y'all and having good spirits from y'all made me realize. So I got to go apologize to some people because I was tripping. That's why I come here, for my love of Prince and because of y'all. That's it. Take us home, Dean.
Well, before you do that, I want to speak to this really quickly, Michael.
Yeah.
I know you need to go.
No, you're good.
I want to speak to this, and this is something that I kind of struggle with. So Monier says, we're here carrying on. There's something very important. Miss O, rest in peace, forever Prince fan into eternity. I'm of the belief that you can still mourn someone through by celebrating them. And I'm trying to get to, like, you know, Miss O in particular brought so much joy. If I don't know if you interacted with her in Modern Air, but if you did, she brought so much joy. And I don't think that she would want us to be sad. I think that she would want us to be happy. She was at Celebration in the front row. If you don't remember, I just want to show, like, she was VIP, and they got this picture because she was next to the stage. You know, so and that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to show this particular image of her.
Oh, the estate posted this picture of her?
Yes, the estate posted
this
picture. Yeah, I remember that picture. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
But when Celebration was happening, they posted this.
Okay, I got you.
And because, you know, like, she was just, her spirit was it was just so full and so happy. And so I think she would be okay with us talking about Prince in the way that we have, and still, you know, honoring her. So I don't think that, you know, sometimes one of the things I love about the New Orleans tradition, and I wish I kind of sometimes grew up in New Orleans, is how they send people off.
Yep.
They send people off with music and with joy. It's not sad.
Right.
And so, you know, like, she had so much light, and we want it to be bright, you know. So I want it to be bright for her. I don't want to break down and cry, because she was so full of life. So that's the reason why we were carrying on the way that we were, because we are here celebrating the man that she loved, which was Prince. And that's the man that we all loved, or we wouldn't be here every single week. So, Michael Dean, take us out.
You know, I would just add to this. I don't think I actually met her before, but I've been talking to people over the last week who knew her, and to see how they have been affected by, you know, being friends with her says a lot of, you know, the kind of person she must have been. And, you know, just looking at the picture and listening to people talk about her, she sounded like she was, like, you know, basically like a kind of family. But I guess we just come to realize, you know, how big this thing is. This is one of the things I wish Prince could have saw. Like, you really see, like, it's not just you being in the studio, you know, it just blossoms out to all of this stuff. And so we create all these connections with people, and we feel, you know, internally, we feel emotional about people that some we've never met face to face, or we have, but there's that strong connection. And so this young lady here, you know, just another example of, you know, how great we are as lovers of this music and this culture. And it's bigger than, you know, it's bigger than Prince. We have made it this thing. So, you know, salute to her and her family. Absolutely. And, you know, salute to everybody here on the chat. We're all related, man. We all are family, whatever the race is, whatever part of the world, we're all clicked in, man. We do share all this thing together. So it's great. And we don't need the estate to come here and do this every week. We've been doing this for years. So we're going to keep doing it. And I'm glad the door is still open. I could come in here and be a part of this. I love this. So
you got
absolutely. Well, you know,
back door.
I just heard a little bit of that, but yeah. I didn't know.
Well, down south. So well, first of all, down south, I mean, when I grew up, you didn't even lock the doors.
Nope.
People could just come on in the house.
Yep.
But now that we're in the, you know, era where you got to lock the doors, I was just saying you got the keys to the front door and the back door and the side door too, if you want to. So you're always welcome.
And Brother Dean, when she said people didn't knock, I was probably 10, 11, maybe 12 when I first started seeing people knocking to come in somebody's house.
Oh, wow.
Like, people just walk in your damn house. Like, now I think about that now, and I think about that. But yeah, depending on how country you were and how rural you were and the people you knew, they ain't even knock, Claire. And literally people would go, in lieu of knocking, they may be opening your door and go, knock, knock, coming in. Like that's all you got.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead, bro.
I feel I'm on the West Coast over here. And they're breaking through the window, coming in. Something different, but I feel it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. Have a good rest of your weekend. Working like a job. We'll see you next time. Peace.